Alright, thank you for joining us on this broadcast brought to you by Fifth Dimension. Alright, this is Iran, Iraq, not necessarily at war with each other, but Iraq has something to do with it, so they're blaming Iran, and so call it whatever you want. And frog people. Oh, I should have put an image of that. So if you know, I ain't playing that very well. Okay, alright, we'll post that, who I'm talking about. So, let me go into that real quick before I forget. I was going to post, I'm trying to stay away from doing anything anymore. Can't spell his name for anything. Oh, that's good. That was like way off. Anyways, Eckhart Tolle, however you spell his name. I'm not doing a very good job of it. There he is. So, let me just show that real quick. Nope. Okay, Eckhart Tolle. We're going to start with him. Alright, frog person. What star system I would think is Alpha Centauri, but he's from all over. Who cares? But he's definitely, doesn't mean that he's all frog, but he has frog energies. So to give people, as a frog alien, if you look at Kermit the Frog, he's pretty healing, isn't he? But yeah, from when I first started doing this, it felt, which you don't feel very, you don't feel that people connecting to that either, but frog people are quite, it doesn't mean go to the pet store and get a frog, but just like any other animal, they can be very healing, but a frog person has a unique ability where, like, when the heart is in the right place, they can really vibrate a healing energy to, thousands, millions. And he definitely has that energy field. So he has wolf energies too, but I believe the frog is the healing factor. He probably has other connections too. But either way, I wanted to at least share that, give you an idea of what the hell I was even talking about. So obviously, who the hell hears that very often? For those who new to all this, I've been talking.com. We have private sessions scheduled on our channel, on Google Hangout, Zoom, and chat on my phone. I'm on 10 days for delivery right now. Oops. Other channels and heroes I do recommend. Social network and awesomeness. Thank you for your support. Let's see if I can figure out what I'm doing here. So, yeah, we're kind of going backwards. With Iran and well, it's not really Iraq part of the war, but like I said, Iraq has something to do with it. So, in the long run, it has to do with money. Notice how our military, U.S. military, is gearing up. So it's a financial transaction, mostly. And it's, like I said, it's so many different agendas there. It's not all about money, but I think a big portion of it is. It's distraction, bring in somebody, but also has Iran and Iraq have an ancient connection together. I believe they're also combined at one time. Long time ago. Before they had borders. And when the borders, when we started putting borders everywhere, obviously it went more into the third dimension reality. So, healing borders like we have, America and Mexico are kind of beating the shit out of each other for various reasons. But for overall, if you connect to the ancient times, you can probably feel that Iran and Iraq are like brothers and sisters, or however you want to look at it, are the same country all together. All that whole area, look at it anyway, the whole world's the same country, but other way. So they divided each other up to warn differently, to have different experiences, which is a big risk because a lot of worlds don't do that. We do it because we do it opposite of everybody else, and that's what we created this paradise out of. But of course, it's when you think about a school, classrooms are all divided, so the same thing. Yeah, if you look at it from a school point of view, yeah. So let's see here. Ancient connections. There's a lot of beings, of course, we don't know about, but it does come down to I believe the Anunnaki is protecting a lot of other species not to be known. Palladians are aware. Obviously, all alien beings are aware of certain different ones, but Anunnaki plays a big role in keeping it hush for right now. Not necessary. Not necessarily for right now. It's kind of figure out. Once we figure out our planet, like our connection to the animal kingdom, our connection to the tree people, when that becomes more a part of the conversation instead of blowing up Baghdad. When sports, I mean, there's nothing wrong with sports, but it's kind of like a worship energy to that, to a degree. That's the, and of course, yeah, some of these channeling groups are kind of going to an alien worship in some regard. It's kind of following the church. People go to church to worship God. Now people go to the alien church to worship an alien. Technically, when you go to a regular church, you worship an alien anyway. But, they'll figure that out one day. Or what alien it is, or what God it is. I only have to ask your local preacher. Or priest. Who are we worshiping exactly? And you gotta have to use your senses and figure that out on your own, because they're not gonna know what the fuck you're talking about. You see a big, large, top bird being standing next to them, or a feline being, or a canine being, gives you a little bit more of a sense, or a friggin' archon being, for that matter. Who the hell knows what the hell it is? Everybody, they're all different. So, yeah, they say they're worshiping a certain god. They're all worshiping different gods. It depends on who's putting who's doing the preaching and all that. So, of course, I gotta tell you that. And you see all the different religions, different gods, right? It's not all one god. It's all a bunch of different gods. So take it to another level. So anyway, yeah, just make it as confusing as possible. I think isn't like a whole bunch of gods when you look at mythology and all that. Have fun with that one. So of course Egypt. Yeah, all this is connected to Egypt. Egypt is part of the closing of the fourth dimension. I can say the closure of the third dimension, meaning it kind of shut it down, like put it in work. You can say not shut it down, but kind of put it. I get shut down, but either however you want to look at it, to activate it, you can say. Egypt played a big role. All Middle East played a big role in our. A lot of inventions came from the Middle East. So, wonder why. It was just it's just a place, you had to download it somewhere, they had to play it somewhere. So, obviously, it went from the ocean to the desert areas that weren't desert areas at the time. Alright, we'll see who we can tap into here. Let's see, Archangel presence here. Well, the Carians are here. That's why not, right? One moment. Yeah, the bird beings. One moment. Alright, blessings. You can look at where the Carians. We're kind of here. You can look at your society. Look at us as overseers. as watching your Earth, as managers of your time. Some beings enjoy your planet, some beings detest it. That's why you have your missing persons. Uh, just like a bird flies down to get its prey, alien beings kind of do it too, but using humans to do so. And humans do it automatically now. That happens all through time. Yes, it gives the low vibration of your Earth a foundation, of course. The reason for human trafficking is your world is connected to the universe. So being see how you lost control of your planet. Other beings felt they took ownership of you. So once you take your power back, as you are slowly doing so, meaning awareness of you in the universe, as there is nothing out in space. It's just perception. Astronauts will go out in space. Yes, find a planet, find a moon, and that's all they see. Others of you will go out there and see ship after ship, and even universes and other dimensions connecting to yours. So it gets a little bit wild when you transition out of body. And that is the thing about your third dimension transitions. Many of you are just going more into astral. So you're a third dimensional human, but some of you aren't hooked into your human as you thought you were. You're transitioning more into astral realms, assisting humanity. Humanity is very physical, as you can see, difficult to understand the alien densities, but as you go more, yes, you disconnect from the human consciousness as basically what you're told, all the physical realities around you, that it's no longer, I wouldn't say relevant, but of use, and you want a new experience. A new experience is another planet, another universe. Planets around you, yes, there are vast many planets around your Earth that you're not seeing. At least from a third dimensional lens. Third dimensional lens that you're seeing through is clearing out for many of you. So you're bringing in a new change. The more you believe this reality that you are connected to, embrace it, trust it, becomes part of your everyday, the alien energies become more clear. You'll see more alien energies through your vibration and become much more clear. Some of you have a lot to deal with here in this dense environment, but many of you are graduating out. It serves no use anymore. Not to say it adds extra layer. It might make it more frustrating to be in the physical, but in some ways it can add easiness too. Of course, there's going to be blockages because some of you want to see the future instantly, and then just like, good luck on that. You're not that fourth dimensional. Some of you are, but you can only see so much. You get a peak and then you forget. Some of you see a great deal and forget. Then you get tired and you want to go to bed and you wonder why am I so tired? Probably because you're looking a little bit too far. So, and a lot of those memories are cleared out. So the third dimension is being healed through your own essence. It is being slowly let go by many of you. Yes, it's not by tens of millions at yet, but will so eventually. Who is letting go of the physical? That's how you know. You're just no longer letting, yes, Iraq, Iran, those two have been going at it forever. America is using it as a manipulation to rile things up. And they've been pulled into it. You can say they're all part of it. they're all in on it. the public version, but the shadow version, it is, as many of you have already heard, they're all kind of, the good guy and the bad guy are best buddies. That's pretty much what's going on. It is tic-tac-toe, basically. It is basically a war game done by the elite. See, it's like you're swatting a fly and then see who comes to revenge the fly that got swatted. So it's just a play on words. Markets are being manipulated. Food's being manipulated as for cost, money. So most of your stock markets are being hit, and a lot of your military is being used. So, which is connected to your shadow government. So what are they doing? So that shows that your shadow government's on the move. Not to worry of any World War III. That's just for headlines and fear. But your shadow government is up to something. Now we don't want to put fear out there, but realize that anytime military movement anywhere that hits the headlines at any time, but when it really hits the headlines, it shows they're making a transition. I mean, look over here while we're doing something, and then over here in the desert where nobody's looking is where their activity really is. So they're trying to get you to look a different direction. So the look dive in. Now, that doesn't mean your shadow government is going to disappear anytime soon, but many of you are going to tap into the veil of how it operates. It is time, isn't it? You don't need this reality anymore, do you? So sometimes you need events like that to, move things. So you can see who's behind it. Over time, society will shut it down instantly. You're not ready for that just yet. They're part of the drama of your reality still. Many are still in the wind of it. It's like whatever the headlines say, oh my gosh, I better believe that. Get swept away. That's going to come to an end. Some of you have to just put an end to it, and many of you are. Eventually, your headliners that do that are going to be laughed at. It's like, no more of this. We see what you're doing. Is that an Anunnaki ship that was there? Is it, the CIA and disguise doing their thing? There is, yes, many things that are happening. It's just the show cannot go on forever. It will for some time, because the human here is not really to digest the truth of how your operations are done here, the theater of your reality. And the theater is played well and hardcore, as you can see. They don't care what kind of lives are lost. That's all part of the game. But many of you are going to tap into the shadow realities and see that who's playing. You might see, yes, Persians, you might see Iranians, you might see Americans or Asians, whatever it might be. And you might, it's not going to be the clearest, but they can't hide forever. As many of you awake and realize, so many of you in your psychic awareness, you're all connecting to those that wish to connect to a higher consciousness. Whatever it is, you're still connected to an alien energy. It doesn't have to be at the highest. It could be you want to connect to the alien energies, the spirit energies. That opens up a door astrally throughout your human race. The more of you do it, the easier it gets. And the more of it becomes part of your social lives. It becomes easier and easier and easier. See, this is why you don't have to go out preaching everyone what you think. Because you feel it. Who you are is already felt. It's all through energy. You don't have to you don't have to protest. You don't have to do anything. Just be yourself. And just let the astral energies get stronger. That's when you shift out of third dimension. Truly, when your human consciousness has truly had enough of it. You're in the early stages of it. Less war. Some want less war in a third dimensional state. They want no more war. I'm going to go back and drink my coffee and look at the headlines of whatever it is. But many of you are just like the headlines of higher realities, where you can combine your Earth with another planet and grow further and go into more of a, yes, interstellar reality. As yes, it is cute to see you have your spaceships going into space, but many of you can teleport to different places, as you already know. And you're building that idea system. Now, yes, astrally is necessary for this reality, but also realize why this world is so necessary. Because many worlds were getting out of control in your universe. It's like your universe called this world in to balance out other planets that just were not balancing themselves very well. Remember, you're all technically a universe, yes, but also a planet. A planet, think of a person as a planet, going through emotions, drinking too much alcohol, too much drugs, whatever it is. And then you have people taking their oil or taking their resources, and they're all depleted and they can't think straight. Your planets go through the same thing. You're going through the same thing. So Earth is taking all of that rejectionness, all that manipulated energies, bringing it to itself. It's kind of like the map of the problems of your universe. As when you become more aware of other planets, you see those problems here. Like with Egypt. Egypt wanted to be known, and there's many of those in your universe that are similar, not the same. They brought their imprint here. Atlanteans brought their imprint here. They've all been known throughout the galaxy, the universe, and they're heavy players. So they can say they're the most popular in some ways. Asian cities are. They're popular on other planets, of course. Asian worlds, definitely. They're proving a point that they matter. Some of them grow. They connect. You have your China built here, and your Asian population throughout your universe. Asian planets grow, and grow. Just for example. So your world and its purpose is like it's a seed planet, but seeding other worlds in different ways. Yes, it might not have the problems of your planet, but the problems here are necessary for other worlds to grow. Yes, you're seeding other planets on a vast scale. What does that mean for you? It means that you don't have to go through this forever. And the hardships also mean they're transitioning into a new timeline. Which is hard to get to sometimes. It's like, oh, I'm ready to give up. Oh, this is over with. You'd be surprised what you jump to next. And especially you go through hardships, meaning you can have a whole 180 transformation life. Possibly. New job, new career, new romance, new place to live. All of that can come out. So just why it's hanging in there is so difficult but necessary. And not diluting your vision. Being yourself. Some like to jump around, move everywhere, avoid themselves. Some do. Staying in one place isn't easy. Some like to hide. They plant themselves, say what they need to say, and run. Because they don't want everybody to know who they truly are, and they don't want to know either. So, some need to travel, that's one thing, but others travel because they're running. So, some of you have probably met someone like that somewhere in your life. The carrying energies on this planet is realize there's many observers. There are many, yes, who will take energies, many will give to your world. It's very vital for of all alien species and their growth, not just yours. And yes, aliens can be very hard-headed too, and make them all the mistakes you would think would never be made. You're going to see that more clearly. Yes, you're not going to have an alien appear anytime. Well, you will in your own vibration, yes. But as for worldwide, you're still getting to know yourselves. So it'll bring a shock to your systems. But it does mean you're bringing it closer. Yes, conversation continues to bring it closer. And alien artifacts being found across your planet is more necessary too. It's more likely. It's like, yes, places will just appear out of nowhere. Nothing major. Because and you'll have your archaeologist. Why didn't we see this before? Because it wasn't there. Now you're ready to experience it. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to have another pyramid appear in Egypt, but there are other temples that have not been found. That will be found when the time is right. They'll give you more answers, and give you more answers about your Atlantis, because and it will be public eventually. It has not been found yet. There are places, but there's more out there. There's places where they can't get to. There's places that, either way, it will be found. Your Atlantean knowledge, Illuminati knowledge, become more clear. It wasn't just lost in one place. It was buried. The knowledge is buried for various reasons. When your world's ready. Basically, yeah, so we call it conspiracy theory because your world's still part of the old paradigm, the old kings of reality. Your Queen of England is an old king or queen. Old, so out with the old. Basically, if you have someone younger in your kingship in your England, a new energy comes in. Now, if you put another old person there, you get kind of the old vibration. By putting someone younger, like a William, in there, everything shifts. And things will shift, and he won't know why he's doing what he's doing. He just wants to do something different. And that's when your Earth really kicks into gear. Yes, nothing wrong with old, but the belief systems of old have to go for you to change, as many of you know. Some of you that are old will change. That's great. We don't see your Queen of England doing any of that. She can change, but she is not doing it. She can change her whole paradigm, her whole thinking, even look younger if she wanted to. But no, she's part of the old idea system. So she's going to continue just to paint on her makeup. And so, because as you bring in a new energy to the earth, that's when the fountain of youth vibration continues. And you feel young inside, you look young on inside and out. Hard to do that when you're a part of an old system, such as your money system. When that breaks, everyone's going to look like their 20s eventually. As you are in the year of the 2020s. So, you probably heard of many look like they're 30. In your spirit world, some do, but many look like they're 20 also. Why not? But have the soul of an ancient being. So, blessings to you all. Alright. Hopefully that was helpful. Alright, blessings.